Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afker, and thank you so much for joining us today in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. And today is the first day of the new season, January and February season. And so very excited to connect with you again live, and also very happy for those who joined our community recently. So welcome to our community. And so today we have with us Jim Oliver, and this is the second time he joined us. I think the first time it was the first season several years ago, and yeah.
Wow. We were young.
Yeah. Yeah, really time flies so fast, but it was very interesting year, so I'm excited. And first I really love his music, his healing music, and it's really profound, and it can help to go into those deeper states of consciousness, whether during your meditations or that can help you in your healing process, or also channeling if you do that. And it's really profound. And for me personally, once I've been listening to it, it can really help to bring to the center, to this present moment. And because many times I find myself in my thoughts wanting to create different things and having different tasks, but it's really important to have those times for us where we can just connect to our heart, connect to our center, and just to slow down and really connect, because these moments that we create for ourselves, these are the moments that really help us to integrate more of the healing energies and like all the shifts that we are experiencing in our awakening journey. And so really excited that Jim is with us today. And today's call is about harmonies of light and illuminating our path of awakening. And also we'll be playing his some clips of his music. So stay tuned for that. And and also he has free gifts for us. So I will share about it later. All right, so Jim, welcome to the show. Very happy to have you with us today.
Hi, Monsef. So nice to see you again. What a treat, and what an honor to be the first one, number one on the runway for your new season. Thank you for inviting me and allowing me to be in this slot. Thank you.
Thank you. Really excited. So in the beginning, I would love if you can tell us about your music. You've been you're creating more than, I think, 3,500 hours of music throughout more than 40 years. And I would love if you can tell us more about that.
Thank you. Well, for me, music is my life. This is not something that is a hobby or something on the side. When I was about 3.5 or 4 years old, I was at my uncle's house, and he was playing piano and organ, and this sparkling gold energy came into the room and over the instruments and into me, and I shivered and tingled, and I knew that music was my path in life this time around. So I started piano at age 5, conservatory at 14, majored in classical organ when I was in college, and I'll show you pictures worth 1,000 words. So here's there we go. That was me when I was 18 years old, playing pipe organs. So I played lots of classical, very much into symphonic music. And then I did a total 180 in the early 70s or mid 70s, went off on the road and played Vegas, Tahoe, showrooms throughout the country in Canada. Then 79, I moved home and started exploring healing music, transformational music. I met my wife, Jan, who we've been married 40 years. And she was headed to the Southwest to go to massage, body work, natural health, higher studies. I started exploring creating music for massage, meditation, which led to transformational experience. Started working with specific frequencies and waveforms for specific ailments, working with acupuncture, kinesiology, oriental medical doctor, naturopath, and finding what specific sounds would correct imbalances. Harmony and balance are key words that you hear quite often. And that's where music is extremely powerful and profound, because everything is vibration, everything is energy, everything is a combination of frequencies. So if you have something that's experiencing disharmony, distress, distortion, disconnection, disillusion, dis-ease, there is a combination of sounds, frequencies, and waveforms that when the sound is played, it will correct that weak imbalance, leading to a tonified condition. As in acupuncture, you'll see acupuncturists talk about tonifying. Now, waveforms, absolutely as important as the frequency. The way sound travels through the air, a sound occurs and air molecules get pushed along through the air. They get received by our ear, goes through the acoustic nerve into our brain, and our brain interprets that as sound. So in that context, it's very interesting because we can't see the air we breathe unless you live in Los Angeles. Then you can see it real good. But normally you can't see the air, and you can't see sound waves in the air. You can hear them. You can see what looks like sound waves. If you drop a pebble into water and you see those ripples, that's the same thing as a sound wave. It's the same way as that the sound occurs and it radiates outward, and we receive it in our ears, and we receive it physically, physiologically. Our skin is the largest organ of our body, and you can feel the vibration. Certain notes you'll feel in your chest, some you'll feel in your knees, some you'll feel in your head. And the waveforms relate to the instrument sound. So a sine wave, which looks like a big S on its side, would be like a flute sound. If you play a flute into an oscilloscope, you would see a waveform like this. A sawtooth wave looks just exactly like a sawtooth. It's very pointed at the top. A square wave looks just like a square. Square waves are woodwinds like clarinet. Sawtooth waves are brass sounds like trumpet, trombone. And you'll feel them, if you played middle C in a sine wave, you'd feel it in one part of your body. If you played it in a sawtooth wave or a square wave, you're likely to feel it in a different part of your body. And that's the beauty of the keyboard system. I'm just going to kind of aim it over so you can see I've got lots and lots and lots and lots of keyboards, and each one has its own personality. It has its own specialty. It's really like an artist who has their palette of colors. The keyboards are much the same way. I've got strings, I've got choir, piano, cello, flute, grand piano, electric piano, bass, and the bass is absolutely essential in this type of music, because bass is a carrier wave for the higher frequencies. If I were to play a bass note into the oscilloscope, you would see this big long S on its side. If I play high frequency, you'll see it track right down the center line. But if you play both simultaneously, the high frequency sound tracks along the bass wave. The bass is a carrier for the higher frequencies. So that's why in the music that I offer, you'll hear plenty of rich bass. And I encourage people, these days people listen to music a lot on their phones or they listen on their laptop. And when you consider that a bass wave 20 cycles a second. We can hear from 20 to 20,000 cycles a second. That bass wave is 56 feet long. So the little teeny speaker in your laptop can't really reproduce that. So I encourage people, and I'm more than happy to help people figure this out, get a set of external speakers that has a subwoofer, and you can get them for $100. It's real easy, just plugs into the headphone output. You'll have a nice pair of speakers and a subwoofer, and you'll receive full range of sound, which if you're working with sound therapeutically, it would make sense that you would want to receive the full range. And that would also apply to your phone. You can plug into the headphone output of your phone. So allow yourself to receive all the frequencies that are being offered for, and I refer to it as self-healing, because we are self-healing beings. If you get a cut or a scratch, over a period of time, your body will heal itself. And interestingly, at what point in our evolution do we say, okay, I can heal myself from this, but I have to get intervention for that? And, you know, whatever's going on, this is in no way to say don't go to doctors, because that's really important. So you've got to do whatever is important for your wellness process, but allow yourself to be as fully involved in your own wellness and self-healing. And in my dictionary, the word healing means to become whole. And that's really what this is about. Ask the question, why am I here? Why are you here? Why are these people here, both on this call and in your environment and on this planet? What did we come here to do? And how can we achieve that and help each other along the way? I think of music and the harmonies of light, which you mentioned, we'll talk about in just a minute. It helps to illuminate the path for ourselves, which then illuminates the path for others. As we take on that vibration, it illuminates the path for others. And I also want to mention that it's really important that, you know, a lot of times, particularly people that go to live seminars, there can sometimes become almost a spiritual competitiveness that, oh, this one started 20 years ago or 30 years ago or 50 years ago, and I just started now. It doesn't matter. We're all in this together and all contributing equally to the bigger picture. So that's really an important thing to remember, is that every place we've been, all our dreams and goals, it's all relevant to each and every one of us. And in fact, when we do events like this, live streams, or when I do Harmonies of Light live streams, when you have other people simultaneously in the moment, in that meditation, it actually creates more movement and momentum. It's like you watch two race cars, and you know, if one of them can do 100 miles an hour, then you get the second one right on his bumper. Well, they can do 110. You get the third one, and they can do 120. It helps to break the resistance and create more momentum. So it's wonderful to do group meditations, to do group live streams, to do events like what you're offering, Monsef, because it helps create additional energy and momentum. So, Harmonies of Light, how did that evolve? Well, back in the early 80s, when I really started exploring and released my first two cassettes in those days, Faces of Neptune and Rest of Woman, 1982, I was doing a lot of work with the natural health community and massage schools, and color therapy was very much being explored. There is a fellow in New York, Giadelli Dinshaw, who was, his program was spectrochrome, using colors for therapeutic use. There was Royal Raymond Rife, who is doing frequencies, the Rife machine. A lot of people are familiar with that, with frequencies for treating cancer and other ailments. And I wanted to explore what would be the most effective offering and approach. So you've got audible sound, which, as we mentioned, 20 to 20,000 cycles a second, which the waveforms are, 56 feet long down to about 1/2 of an inch. And then above that, you have ultrasound, and they use ultrasound for breaking up kidney stones. I'm sure you've heard of that, using ultrasound treatment. Then you get into AM and FM maritime radio waves, then microwaves. Then you get into the visible light spectrum, which is 400 trillion to 800 trillion cycles a second. But the interesting thing is, people talk about frequencies, and sometimes you'll tune A to 440 cycles a second, sometimes 432, sometimes 444. In my world, it's what the piece of music is asking for. But if you go up an octave, so on the keyboards, if you go from one note C to the next note C, you go up an octave, the frequency doubles. So if the note was 250 cycles, the octave above is 500, octave above that, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, and so on. So audible sound and visible light are about 35 octaves apart. And I said, okay, a rainbow, visible light, the colors are a bandwidth. They're not a specific slice, they are a bandwidth. So you've got the color red, and then and it kind of merges into the color orange, and then yellow and green and blue and turquoise and violet. Below the color red is infrared. Above violet is ultraviolet. Above that is X-rays, gamma rays, and cosmic rays. So that's the electromagnetic frequency spectrum, the short version of it. But they're mathematically related. And I always wanted to be able to play music so that as I play the notes on the keyboards, the harmonically, mathematically related colors shine. And it took a lot of years before the technology was available, at least at my pay grade level. And about 7 or 8 years ago, I was able to put together what we call Harmonies of Light, which we do live streams. And I sit and play at the keyboards for about 45 minutes. And I will tilt the camera up a little bit so that you can sort of see the colors. And as I play, if I play the note G, you get red, and C, you get green, D, you get blue, and everything in between. So as I play, you're receiving the vibration, the frequencies of the colors. So that gives you a double benefit. Then along the line, a year or so later, Jan gave me a book called Cymatics. And I'm thinking that a lot of people have seen pictures of cymatics, where you take a plate of steel, you put a pile of sand on it, and you vibrate it, and the sand migrates into a beautiful mandala-like patterns. It's showing you the shape of those frequencies. And I figured out a way to implement live cymatics into Harmonies of Light. So you get audible sound, frequencies, waveforms woven into a tapestry of beautiful music, and you get the harmonically related colors, which not just a random light show, but all the notes you see, those colors that you also see are specifically related. And then you get the visual reinforcement of the cymatics. So that's what we offer with Harmonies of Light. And as you mentioned, over the past 40 years, I've done about 3,500 hours of original music, which may seem like a lot, but I've been doing it 40 years. And with this system, I can sit down and play and orchestrate a beautiful full piece of music right on the spot. So I've done a lot of music, concerts, music meditations, one-on-one sessions, the symphonic sessions. We did over 1,000 of those. for everything from diabetes and MS, cerebral palsy, various cancers, brain tumors, offering a vibrational model of you in your optimal state, which your body and being is naturally drawn to resonate with. It's really about the resonance. So how can the music help you? Well, in today's world, as has been in the past, there's a lot of chaos, turmoil, unrest, uneasiness, people feeling somewhat disconnected. But when there's music happening, particularly music like what I offer, that's created with the focus and the intent of unification, of self-healing, self-awareness, of consciousness raising, of mindfulness. Meditation is one of the absolutely most important things that we all can do in our daily life, even if you only have 5 minutes or 10 minutes. In the tradition that I follow with a wonderful spiritual teacher, 40 to 45 minutes is a typical meditation period. But sometimes, life gets so busy, it's hard to find that amount of time. Even if you're driving and you're at a stoplight, foot firmly on the brake, few deep breaths in and out. It's amazing how restorative that is, just to give yourself a moment to pause and relax, to breathe in, pause, release, pause, and then see what remains. What may come up with inquiry. What is this feeling? What is this image? What is this energy about? What does this mean for me? And to know that with music, music creates flow, movement. It's like a stream. Just imagine, like an issue, for example, is like a leaf floating down the stream, and sometimes it gets stuck on a little twig, and then, the water just kind of vibrates it and it moves on, and then it moves on. Music has that unique capacity to engage and to create movement. And movement is essential, because a lot of times it's feeling stuck that causes that disharmony, distress, dis-ease. And something as simple as just creating movement. People could do Tai Chi, people can dance, people can do yoga, anything that influences and encourages and supports movement and momentum of getting out of stuckness. And even dissonance has its place, because if it weren't for the discomfort, the dissonance, a lot of times we would not have that incentive to move forward. If you get really comfortable, sitting in the coach watching the scenery go by, there's no real incentive, as much incentive to create movement in the direction that you'd like your life to be. With a boat, for example, if you look at the underside of a boat, it has little ripples in it. They call chines, little steps. And what that does is that breaks the surface tension of the water. And it helps the boat to actually go faster, because the water can almost create a suction and hold you in place. And then once you get going, those ripples are just letting the water flow. So in music, a representation or analogy to that would be a technique that's called suspension and resolution. There are chord qualities, types of chords that have a suspension, and then they resolve. They suspend and resolve, suspend and resolve. And we energetically identify with that as problem and solution. So sometimes music is just a single note and then a second note that, depending upon how far apart they are, that's the interval, that's the amount of space between the notes. Then you can fill it in with chords. Major key is more uplifting, minor key is a little more contemplative and reverent. And all of these things are incorporated into the music that I offer. It's a journey. And I can say that there is a time and a place for what they call spa music, which is more of a drone. What I offer is not a drone. It's about going somewhere. It's a journey. It'd be the same thing as going to a movie that's an hour long or 2 hours long and having just that picture of the flower and just that little babbling brook or just that little thing. You know, after a while you disengage because you're not feeling anything. The healing is in the feeling. So the music I offer, and also because of my well, I started piano at 5 and I'm now 70 years old. So I've got 65 years of sitting behind the keyboards. And that's how I'm guided. That's how I'm guided to create music that engages, that activates, that offers the opportunity for inquiry, offers the opportunity for resolution, completion, embodiment, integration. And speaking of integration, let's have a sample of a piece of music, the one that's about 4 minutes long, The Light of Integration, which I created for that purpose of engaging, feeling, experiencing the magnificence of who you are. And The Light of Integration is about a 42-minute long piece. So you're going to hear 3.5 or 4 minutes of it. So take some deep breaths, sit and relax. Allow yourself to open and to receive fully. Give yourself full permission and participation to experience this piece called The Light of Integration.
All right, just give me a moment. The light of integration. So yeah, that was the light of integration.
Yes.
Um,
And feel how within just 3.5 or 4 minutes, what a shift already has begun. It's a cellular connection. The music that I offer is created with that invitation to a cellular experience, body, mind, spirit, and emotions. And a lot of times emotions and unresolved emotions are what's in the driver's seat. And music is an ideal way. That old saying, music hath charms to soothe the savage breast. It has the capacity to almost immediately shift the energy from feeling perhaps uptight and nervous to feeling calm and relaxed and feeling everything's going to be okay. And it is, it will be okay. We're all in this together. Nobody is alone. So since we just had a piece, let's follow that up with another piece. We talked about, it'll be the balance of polarities. Yin and yang, waveforms rise and fall. They peak and fall. Our moods, sometimes they're higher, sometimes they're lower. Sometimes they're contemplative and sustained. Sometimes they're more energetic. Sometimes we're at sleep and we're resting. So the balance of polarities is created to honor and acknowledge the flow, the movement, the uniqueness of ourselves and how we respond and integrate. So let's listen to a little balance of polarities.
all right. that was really beautiful. Yeah.
So everyone just keep feeling that vibrational field that will continue to build, and we're going to do more music as we go along. So hold on to that energy field and feel the connection between other people on the call right in this moment and those that will listen to the replays in the future, and expand that out to all of humanity, who each and every one benefits from each one of us as we raise our own vibrational field. It radiates out and encourages and supports other people. Often I use the analogy, or I liken music to food. The music I offer is intended to offer a vast buffet of textures, flavors. Music is the same way. When you're listening to the music, sometimes there is piano just floating by. Think of it as if you were getting a massage, and the massage therapist is just lightly going over the surface of your body. Then other times working with the thumbs to get what's deeper, sometimes touching 2 points to do connective tissue polarity. Sometimes it's very deep and engaging and grounding. You can feel it in the soles of your feet. And then other times it's light and sparkly. You can feel it activating, aligning, tonifying the chakras, the energy systems that are in our field. In my early explorations back in the 70s, late 70s, I was very interested in the mind over matter, setting an intention, visualizing. Here in the Southwest, there's a great deal of Native American opportunities to experience sweat lodges, Native American dances, art, culture, music. It's a blessing to be here and to explore that. And as we each continue to discover our true nature, our true selves, our true nature, one of the most accessible ways to do that is to be in nature. Whether you live in the city and have a view of the sky, or you could go to a planetarium and see the celestial activities, or you can go to botanical gardens at a museum, or if you have the opportunity to get out of the city, go and experience the night sky. Give yourself the opportunity to have a walk in the woods, go to even a flower shop and smell the flowers. Look at the intricacy of how nature has formed these amazing flowers, the petals, the stems, the leaves. Nature is the direct connection. Knowledge is a wonderful thing. Knowledge helps us to understand things. Wisdom is the ultimate goal of that. Knowledge becomes wisdom through direct experience. A friend of mine has a little caption on his emails, and he said, and it says, and I forget the author, I apologize, but it says, knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting tomato in fruit salad. So there's a good thought around knowledge and wisdom. And music offers you all that your imagination can picture, visualize, and the opportunity to embody that through direct experience. When inquiry happens, or when any kind of a situation occurs, our bodies are a direct connection to our intuition and guidance. Many teachers say, take it to the body. How does it feel in the body? If you're with someone and you feel this uncomfortableness or this pit in your belly, that's good information. Do you feel light, uplifted, and empowered? Do you feel uncomfortable? Your body is a very, very, very good indicator of energy. In our, I guess what might call the 3D world, our 5 primary senses of sight, sound, touch, smell, taste. Now a lot of people are talking about 5D, of expanding our awareness and our consciousness to intuition is one of the great resources that we have. Way back in the 80s, a lot of people used pendulums to help them decide, should they have carrots or celery or whatever their questions were. And we all have that built-in inner pendulum, that inner, ask a question. Does your energy go forward and back as a yes, or does it go like a no? And it happens very immediately. It's easy as we go to a restaurant. What is your body nourishment asking for? What will nourish and taste good and be good and healthy? And just ask. You scan the menu, and something's going to glow in the dark. In the early days when I did a lot of massage therapy conventions, and I had my tapes and CDs laid out on the table. Back in those days, I probably only had a dozen or so. Now I think I have about 60 on my website. But it's just, you can make a scan, and something is going to glow in the dark. So many times I would be at the table, and someone would say, "Jim, can you recommend a CD for me?" And I say, "Well, how about what's in your hand?" And they go, "Oh, I didn't even realize I had one in my hand." So your intuition is already at work. It guides you in the morning when you get dressed. Do you put on a green shirt or a blue shirt or a yellow or orange? Do you wear a scarf that's red or white or black or whatever? Colors are a great source of vibrational energy in our field. I'm gonna tilt the camera up a little bit, and one of the interesting things, if you mix pigments together, colors like red, blue, green, the primary colors, if you mix them together, you get black. If you mix all 3 together. But here, if we take red and we mix blue into it, we get violet. If we take red and we mix green, we get orange. If we mix green and blue together, we get turquoise. But watch how interesting with color, if we mix red, blue, and green together at the same time in equal amounts, looking up at the ceiling of the studio, you see we get white light. So that's the red, the green, and the blue in equal parts, you get white light. In some of the things I've been reading, we have 30 trillion cells. Depending upon our physical size. Babies, I understand, are about 26 trillion. But just as an average, and it could be up as high as 38 trillion for humans. But on average, we have 30 trillion cells. And just imagine what a miracle it is that everything is, you know, we breathe. Breathing is interesting because it happens subconsciously, it happens automatically, or we can consciously take a breath in, release a breath, or without even thinking about it, it happens. Our heart is pumping and bringing blood throughout our body and oxygen throughout our body. And the interesting thing with sound in the early days, I wanted to know, is it because you're feeling the vibration of the frequencies in your body through your ears, or how does it work? So I took a pair of headphones and put them on, our clients, we were doing symphonics, put it on their ankle and played the frequency so quietly that you couldn't possibly hear it in your ears. And they would test just as positively because the blood is circulating and it's bringing that vibration all through our body and our being and throughout our energy fields. So there's no, it's great to hear music through speakers because then you get a physical resonance, especially if you have a subwoofer that gives you that good rich bass. So now let's have another piece of music. We're talking about frequencies and bass. Let's listen to the clip of Receiving Higher Frequencies with Grace and Ease. And again, allow yourself to just rest, flow with the music, float with the music, feel it's offering grounding, it's expansion, nurturing. This is Receiving Higher Frequencies with Grace and Ease.
That was receiving high frequencies. And, yeah, very, very profound. It just really brings to the center and to this present moment. So, yeah.
And for the rest of the call, I'm going to leave the colors on, just cycling through in red, blue, green, orange. Just additionally offering, balancing, tonifying, activating, calming, soothing, all the aspects of leading a life of purposefulness and non-reactivity to challenging situations. And I see, Monsef, we are coming up to the hour, and with your permission or approval, if we would like to continue, I'm happy to continue a little while longer.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You tell me,
As
because
much
we have
as you
lots
need.
of music to share. If anybody has questions, you can type it in or come on. And I will say that I don't typically do prescriptive music. You know, someone say, well, I have acne. What do you have for that? Or I have this or that. I like people to really follow their own guidance because like a buffet, sometimes you go in and you want to have a salad, and sometimes you want cucumbers in it, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want to have a piece of fish, or sometimes you want to have a muffin or a fruit salad, and sometimes you want to have iced tea, sometimes you want to drink water. And it changes. It's real interesting. In the over 40 years that I've been doing this, I have people write to me and say, Jim, I got your piece of music, whatever it may be, Radiant Heart Music Relaxation, any of the clips we've played, and I've been playing it over and over, particularly massage therapists who use it, you know, on a daily basis, you know, all day long. And they say, you know, how does the music change on the CD? Because it sounds different every time I listen to it. And that's wonderful awareness, because the music is offering suspension, resolution, problem solution. And as you listen to the music and these areas resolve, now your attention is drawn to the next area of contemplation. If you have a pebble in your shoe, you're very, very aware of that pebble in your shoe until you take the pebble out of your shoe. And then all of a sudden, oh, are my glasses so tight that it's pinching the side of my head? Well, you take your glasses off and now that's resolved. And then it's like, wow, I really have an itch on my shoulder. So your attention is drawn to, you know, the next area of contemplation. And the music helps support the movement and the flow of resolving those areas. So yes, your attention is drawn to different sections of the music. Sometimes you're hearing the choirs because that's what your body being is asking for. Sometimes you hear the big full strings. Sometimes you hear the delicate electric piano or the little bit more majestic grand piano. Sometimes you really feel the deep resonant bass. Sometimes you feel something in your chest or in your belly or in your knees or wherever. It's just your attention being invited to explore another aspect of ourselves. The next clip we're going to play is called The Crystal Star. And this was a soundtrack to a beautiful video that I did the music for way back in the mid 80s. And it was crystals with colors and crystals and waterfalls and slow motion. It's absolutely gorgeous. And this was created to honor crystals, which crystals, are used in watches because they are very precise in their vibration. So sit back, enjoy Crystal Star, feel the magnificence of you with the Crystal Star.
Yeah, it felt like how to say, it brings some joy, some feeling of joy when listening to it.
Thank you. It's been, well, let's see, I did that in 1986, I think it was. So what is that, 36, 37 years ago? That was one of my earliest pieces. I did Faces Neptune, Restive Woman, One with the Eagle, Piano Meditation, The Crystal Star. It's a beautiful journey, and thank you for sharing that. The feeling of joy, the magnificence of who we are, if we would just let that come to the surface.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to share or add to our time together, Monsef?
Yeah, first I want to share some feedback. We have Stephanie experienced so many movements, many colors, ending with white light and pervading energy, light energy. And also Michelle, thank you, feeling so relaxed and sleepy now, and it's bedtime here. Thank you. Yeah, and maybe also, I don't remember if you mentioned it about how music can bring us together, like both in collective events, but also when we use music for healing, for self-healing. At some point, we feel like a shift happening in the way we relate to others, the way we react to some events, and it feels like there is more acceptance, more love, and also like the things that at some point felt difficult, like forgiveness or acceptance, it became more easy and more natural.
Music is the soundtrack of our life. That's the beauty of it. Music is the soundtrack of our life, of who we are, and it reflects. And that's the wonderful thing, is that it is a reflection of who we are. It's an interaction. When I do the Harmonies of Light events, the live stream events, I'm tuning into all the aspects of life that are asking to be seen and heard. And that includes the people who are participating live in the moment, or those who will join in the future in the replays, all the way down the timeline. There's no limitation, no confinement. It truly is universal. Music is said to be the universal language. And it doesn't matter whether you speak French, German, English, Japanese, any of the dialects, African dialects, Nigerian, it doesn't matter. India, Arabic, it doesn't matter. When I play the music, you feel it in your heart. Music is nourishment for our heart and soul. Plato said, music is the medicine of the soul. And I truly believe that, and I truly experience that, and people share with me that music nurtures your soul. It's comforting. And how wonderful is that? And it's very immediate, as you hear with each of these pieces of music, which these clips are, typically around only 3 minutes long. What a shift occurs in just 3 minutes. So imagine, in what we're offering with our special offer in the package, there's hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of music. Do you want to talk about that a little bit now, Monsef? Or
yeah, of course. So yeah, we have the special offer and the gift. Let's start with the special offer. So
sure.
So you can access it, so everyone, either by clicking the special offer button, which is on the webcast page, the live event page, or later it will be on the replay page and also on YouTube on the video description. And it is yourdivineuniqueness.com/gym, yourdivineuniqueness.com/gym. And also I will share it on the chat on Zoom. And so yeah, we have 2 albums, 2 programs.
Right.
So would you like to share about them?
Yes, thank you. I've put together 2 beautiful boxed sets, and you have the opportunity, it's on the website, but there's transformational healing music. And this is a beautiful boxed set that has 10 full-length recordings on it, and they range in the 45, 50, 60 minutes long. So this is almost 10 hours of music. And you've heard some of the clips, and you can read that, Receiving Higher Frequencies with Grace and Ease. And that we'll also talk about in the Music Meditations and Inner Journeys. Crystal Star is in there, In Touch, a beautiful record with a violin and guitars and beautifully orchestrated. So you can read the descriptions. There are some clips of the pieces, and you've heard some of those pieces. And then the other package we're offering is Music Meditations and Inner Journeys. There we go. And a number of years ago, I was invited to put together a series of programs for World Puja Network. And you can read the titles. Each of the titles of these 12 programs, which are an hour long each, are very purposefully created. In this particular offering, I would discuss the topic. So if the topic was Journey to the Depths of Love, we talk about that for a few minutes. I did a 12 or 13 minute, what I call music meditation, talk about the topic a little more, and then I do about a 25-minute music meditation. Some of them have a softly guided meditation in there, and some are just music. And then we would complete with that. And so you get not only all of the 12 60-minute shows, the programs, but I am throwing in bonus number 1. And bonus number 1 is all of the music all by itself. So if you want to listen to just the music, there are 6 additional CDs that are just music, and they're anywhere between 60 and 75 minutes long. So this is about another 7 hours of just music, plus the 12 hours of the shows that include the music and the discussion. So that's an extremely comprehensive offering, Music Meditations and Inner Journeys. And if you're inclined and you really moved to do so, and you want to get both of the packages, transformational healing music and the Music Meditations and Inner Journeys, which bonus number 1 with that is I'm giving you all the music on separate CDs. I will also, if you get both packages, I'll also throw in another bonus of the Cellular Embodiment of Light, which is a soundtrack from a Harmonies of Light. I'll also include Radiant Heart, which is a gorgeous 60 minutes, uninterrupted 60-minute long piece, Radiant Heart. I'll include Miracles, which is about a 40-ish minute beautiful piece of music. And I'll also include The Bridge if you choose to get both packages. So between the 2 of them, you'll have, let's see, one is 10 hours, the other is about 19 hours. So, and then the additional bonuses, so 29, you'll have over 30 hours of deep, engaging, nurturing, therapeutic, transformational music. Transformation is moving through the stuff and getting out of the stagnant pond into free-flowing water of joy, happiness, abundance, prosperity, good health, wellness. That's all the intention behind the music.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Jim. And yeah, I really feel honored to share your work with our audience. So thank you so much. And yeah, everyone, you experienced Jim's music, whether it's the first time for you here on the show or you already have his music. And yeah, really encourage you to sign up for one of the packages or both of them if you feel guided to do that. And again, the link to that page is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Jim, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Jim, JIM. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page or on the replay page. And also it will be added to YouTube video description. And also, Jim, you are offering deep calm attunement gifts.
Yes.
And
yes.
Everyone, I want to share the link. So it's JimOlivermusic.com, JimOlivermusic.com. Also, there is a free gift button on the live event page and the replay page. And also, you just need to scroll down in that page to find the gift section. So
right, it's at the bottom of the home page, and you'll see that you'd like to sign on my mailing list so that you are notified when we do Harmonies of Light and other special events. And there's a couple of video clips from Harmonies of Light on the homepage, but at the bottom of the homepage, you'll see the sign-up form to receive Deep Calm, which is about 22, 23 minutes long. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece of music that I'm offering as the free gift to you all for joining with us and supporting Monsef and his wonderful offering of this summit of the divine uniqueness. And always keep that in mind. You are that unique being, that there's only you, just like you, and we honor that and celebrate that. So thank you all, and thank you, Monsef. And to complete our talk today, there's a clip called Remembrance, and that's what we'll complete with. And I invite everyone to, after the music completes, to sit in the stillness and feel the vibration, drink in the music, breathe in the music, and bask in the colors that are present from the frequency, the vibration of the music. And then sit in stillness and give yourself a chance to have a little meditation period after our webinar completes. And it's truly been an honor and a blessing to be with you all and Monsef. I look forward to our next time around. It's Monsef is, a man who, as you read in his bio, he was an engineer, and he followed the guidance. He followed his heart to do something with his energy and his life force energy and his time. Time is the most valuable thing we have. And it takes an incredible amount of time and energy and organization to create these tele-summits, to line up the speakers, create the pages of information, and coordinate everybody. A tremendous amount of energy, and I truly acknowledge and honor you for that, Monsef, and in deep gratitude for you taking the time out of your life to present these beautiful explorations.
yeah, thank you so much, Jim. And yeah, it's really something I love to do, and yeah, I feel honored to be able to to do this kind of work. So
Your smile says it all, and everybody see that. Your smile says it all.
Thank you for everything. It was absolutely beautiful. And I
Thank you,
feel that
Janet.
we've all come together in divine love. sisters today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you. We're all one, and we're all love, and we're all angels.
Yes. And that's why we've selected Remembrance as the closing piece, to remember that we are divine, we are love, just as you expressed, and we are all together. And
Thank
may we
you.
all have a wonderful life. Thank you.
Bless you all, and may you all have a beautiful 2023. It's a year of miracles
It
for
sure
all of us.
You too. Thank you so much, Janet. And
You're very welcome.
yeah. So yeah, just before playing the music, thank you so much, Jim, for the time you spent with us. It's been really
pleasure.
a joy to have you with us. So thank you so much. And yeah. Thank you. Thank you again, Jim.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, the replay will be available within an hour. And yeah, I'm sending you so much love. And I will see you on the next call. Bye, everyone.
Bye.